Hello and welcome to the Dead End, where refugees are welcome. My name is Mort, and today we're looking at the new Path of Exile League called Betrayal. For those of you who don't know what Path of Exile is, it's somewhat similar to Diablo 2, however, much deeper. And it's continued to be supported by GGG, who have made this game, while Blizzard has abandoned Diablo 2 by now. It's also a free-to-play game, so I would highly recommend it if you're looking for that kind of thing. The same if you played Diablo 3 and enjoyed that. However, after Blizzard's recent controversies, you might be looking for something else. But Path of Exile recently launched a new league, and with that comes new content. Betrayal is what this one was called, which, well, if you're a Diablo refugee coming to Path of Exile, this is gonna, well, you're gonna resonate with the name, since you were probably betrayed by Blizzard, like the rest of us. With Betrayal, we get to battle the immortal Syndicate, and we get to meet Alva, Nico, and Einhar again. These are masters from old leagues that I'll get into later. We get Incursion, Delve, and Bestiary back. Although Bestiary is slightly changed, and the other two, since they're not main leagues anymore, are not as common, and as such, the dynamic is a little different. I did not play Bestiary, and I didn't play much Incursion, so I don't know how they were before this. I have read about them, of course, and I played a little bit of Incursion. But I did play a lot of Delve, and that was a great league, and I'm happy to see it return, and I'm excited for the other two. Bestiary was not well met, from what I heard. You had to capture your own beast, whereas and I've heard they did a lot of changes later on, but I don't know. For now, it's great though. It's fantastic with the beast crafting. We get Einhard to follow us, and he's a great character. And you get to play a little bit of Pokemon, which is always fun. And we have Incursion with the double corruption madness and interesting uniques. And then we get to go back into the mines for Nico, his insanity, and to fossil craft, which really creates some interesting combis. Makes a lot of builds very, very good. So that's very cool. But with Betrayal also came the Master Overhaul. So all the other Masters got removed, or rather, they disappeared because we meet them as enemies now. They betrayed us like Blizzard betrayed us. One Master and another. So they're now part of the Immortal Syndicate, and we defeat them to either interrogate them, make bargains with them, or other things to form the Syndicate as we wanted. The Immortal Syndicate can be fought in 4 different ways. You'll encounter these in most areas in the game, since it is the main league mechanic. First, there's fortifications, which are small forts that you find. You have to break a door, and then you have to defeat the Syndicate members inside. Usually there's one, there can be multiple. This is very hectic due to a lot of stuff going on the screen. There's a lot of things spawning, there's cannons shooting at you. And the Syndicate members in every encounter are probably slightly overtuned, and I think that's my biggest criticism. It's super chaotic, and the numbers are just a little bit too high, especially at lower levels. New players are gonna struggle, especially if they're making their own build, since those are generally not always optimized. But it's especially bad in fortification. In intervention, you get they randomly spawn out of a bowl somewhere in the map and start attacking you. If they kill you, they disappear, and you lose the chance at progression in the Syndicate in this area, since you've already failed the encounter. However, it is the most straightforward, since it's just killing them. There's nothing else to worry about as long as you don't die. Um, and then there's transportation, which is a train of carts that move from one location to another. You start when you get close. It starts, and you have to kill the main guy. He might summon friends, or she might summon friends, depending on who you have there. Um, and if they summon friends, you don't have to kill them. You can kill them for extra rewards. However, you have to kill the main guy before the Syndicate card reaches the end. Sometimes you have a long time, but I've also encountered a 10-second transportation while I was leveling, and these Syndicate mobs are very strong, so that was not particularly fair. It's also a little buggy still, a little inconsistent, but it is also very straightforward. They do teleport when the card gets a little far away, so it's slightly annoying having to keep up with them, but it is a very simple thing. And then the last one is research, where you enter a hideout from the Syndicate, and you have to. They're trying to destroy the evidence down there, and you have to make sure they don't. So you have to kill them before they destroy the evidence. And you have to kill one main Syndicate member, and then all the white, blue, and yellow mobs disappear. And if there are other Syndicate members, you get the chance to kill them too. However, so it feels slightly timer-based without really being, because if you clear out all the mobs, there's nothing to kill the evidence, and you have all the time in the world for the Syndicate members. Yes. But it also, sometimes you can just get what feels like unfairly insta-killed due to the strength of this, and there's so many mobs spawning. But yeah, once you've completed an encounter, you get 2 different options for every member. Some of them include interrogation, as said before, betrayal, where you get different options. They might offer to remove another member from the Syndicate entirely from, so you don't get to fight them. There's just going to be a random member added that wasn't there before. There are also other things you can choose to get them to drop extra mods or extra items or different things. It varies. But the thing they can give you mainly is intelligence, and you use intelligence to get your progress bar for that branch, the 4 different branches: transportation, fortification, and so on. They each have a safe house where if you get them to 100% via this intelligence, you get to rate their safe house. And this safe house contains another Syndicate member. And rooms of rewards depending on how many Syndicate members you fought in there as well. It's very, very complicated with how you get to add other Syndicate members in the encounter and whatnot. And I think GGG did a poor job of explaining this, since the Betrayal help menu is very lacking. And for how accessible it needs to be for being a League mechanic you encounter at the start, it feels lacking in the help department. But if you get the hang of it, I am certain you can get a lot of very efficient farming out of it. Since you can get very interesting crafting benches in there that give you unlimited mats for 10 seconds that you can use to craft an item with or such. So there's a lot of very good rewards, but it is very very hard to completely understand how the Syndicate works. And it does take a little while to get 100% intelligence for a safe house, but it is very worth it, and it feels good to do the safe house raid. Once you've done it, you get to capture the member and interrogate them, the one that was head of that branch, for intelligence about the mastermind. And the mastermind I have not fought yet, but it's supposed to be a very hard fight. And it takes a long time to get to due to having to gather a lot of intelligence from safe houses only. It feels fun and it feels refreshing. You get to see them in almost every area. You get to it's not just the same encounter every time. You get to try out the 4 different kinds, and it's random which one spawns, I think. And it feels rewarding to get to choose what you want to do. And you get the Veiled mods, which you also get to choose what crafted mod comes on, and it upgrades your crafted mods. So it feels very good. It's a good mechanic, but as a standalone, it feels a little lacking. But that's why they have added in Bestiary, Incursion, and Delve again. And these also added to Core, which means they'll be available in Standard later on. So there's so much to do. The game feels full of content. We have almost every area has something for you, be it Einhar, Sana, Alva, in addition to this betrayal. And you always feel like there's a lot to do in every map. Most maps you don't feel, oh, I ran this map and got nothing, since there's a high chance of something spawning. With Alva, you get 3 incursions now per area she spawns in, so the temple doesn't feel tedious. And if you had something in mind you wanted to do, you suddenly have 3 portals in one area that you can hope to achieve it with, and it feels very rewarding. And running the temple also feels good. Incursion is a great thing, and with that probably coming to Standard, maybe I'll actually be able to earn an Apex Supremacy once, since that has been very expensive. It also makes for double corruptions, which we're gonna see some interesting items at the end of this league, when people are just gonna throw double corruption on insane items, and we'll get some really good items out of that. And then there's Bestiary, where now Einhard tags along. He carries the nets for you. You don't have to worry about one-shotting the mobs. Once they get to 1 health, they cannot die, and Einhard will trap them. Einhard is also very strong during leveling. He destroys the mobs, he destroys the bosses, and he gives a very useful aura. I don't like that you can bring him into boss rooms as long as they're not in a different zone. But it is very convenient, and Einhard is great. He has great voice lines, and Einhard loves everyone, and we love Einhard. So it's a fantastic addition. We also get completely overhauled beast crafting recipes. I have not had much chance to play with this yet, but it looks very interesting, and you will end up having a lot of beasts to catch and craft with. So there's so many crafting options, because there is also Delve. Delve is not particularly good at the start, though. It feels bad to you encounter Nico relatively early. I think it's Act 4 or something. But you barely get to get any soul fight. You get the introduction to the mines, and then you play on, you level on. And you'll encounter a little bit of soul fight while leveling, but it's not much. And then comes maps. You have not had much chance in the mines. Your capacity is low and feels bad. Because once you get into the maps, basically 1 node takes you to capped soul fight. So you want to use that, then go back into the map, take 1 more node, go delve for a full supply of soul fight, and then go back. And you get so little Azurite that it just feels very slow and very tedious. Later on, I am certain it's going to be a lot better once you get a higher supply and you get deeper, so you get more Azurite. But right now, it feels bad, and as such, it's not particularly interesting, except for the fossils, which it looks like they upped the amount that drops in there. In most of the fossil spawns behind the walls, and that's great, since you don't delve as often now. You don't delve consistently, it's more random. So that is fantastic, and we get to drive Nico insane, and ourselves insane in the mines, because the darkness is still frustrating, and oh god, some of those encounters are just, you feel, yes, you end up understanding why Nico is as he is, if you didn't play Delve. But GGG said they were looking into this, so hopefully we will get some Azurite changes or something along those lines. But yes, Betrayal has so much to offer. And there's also a revamped Atlas. They re-tiered many of the maps, and while the high tier don't look particularly interesting, the rest do. And they're still looking into this as well. So there's so much new stuff to go and try out. There is content everywhere, and you get to play with everything while leveling as well, which is very good. And they added new skills. They have revamped some skills, some uniques as well, new uniques, and the veil thing, and the whole crafting overhaul makes for very interesting items. You can now get a lot of Elder or Shaper mods as crafts, and the same with stuff like your attacks cannot be evaded, which is a very expensive craft, but with Vagan gone now, you can't get your Vagan dagger for cast and crit. However, you can now craft it yourself with 3 exalts, which is expensive but worth for the right weapon. So yeah, Betrayal has a lot to offer, and even with the box and the balancing issues, it's fantastic, and I highly recommend you play it. And I have not had much time to play it yet due to work and things, but I can't wait to keep playing, keep exploring, and try out all the different league things. It's an exceptional league so far, and the fact that Delve, Bestiary, and especially Incursion are going into standard is looking very exciting for the coming leagues as well. So I think this has just been a great addition, and I hope that it continues to be so. So that's it for this first look, where we quickly went through the mechanics and the different additions, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or comments, do write them below, and I'll try and get to them. And thank you for watching.